Viewers, after decades, Lord Ram will finally be able to reclaim his rightful home that was cruelly snatched away from him by the vicissitudes of history and time. The story may have begun in 1528 AD, but even in modern India, Lord Ram was treated like a homeless mendicant, consigned to live, as you can see in those pictures to the extreme left of your screens, under a tin shed, stripped away of dignity, but not divinity. Now, after the Supreme Court recognized his juridical rights over his own birth spot or Ram Janamsthan, a historic Bhumi Pujan is being organized on August 5th. And on that spot, viewers, a befitting residence to the glory and legacy of Lord Ram is to be constructed. Times Now, of course, brought you what the model of that temple is going to look like. That really is what it's going to basically be designed to resemble: a three-storied structure, one of the grandest temples in India. The Prime Minister, as a practicing Hindu, has been invited to participate in the ritual. Unfortunately, Modi's decision to attend has created a hue and cry, which has led opposition leaders to suggest that his presence will besmirch the secular credentials of a liberal India. In fact, a member of Asaduddin Owaisi's party has even gone to the extent of suggesting that if Muslims cannot congregate on Bakr Eid, then the Bhumi Pujan itself should be conducted virtually, and the Prime Minister should also attend virtually. The BJP and other Hindu adherents are upset, slamming the opposition for using the Prime Minister's decision to attend as a pretext to derail the Bhumi Pujan that has been organized to restore Ram Lalla's dignity to its former glory. The question then is whether some members of the Muslim community and some elements in the opposition are denying Lord Ram his dignity by opposing the Bhumi Pujan, which will pave the way for the construction of what is being described as a Bhavya Ram Mandir. Now, viewers, first listen in to the kind of responses from the opposition that have led to a controversy. Listen to this.
When you impose such type of festivals and you would say that since we have ordered you to do it, you will have to follow it. This is not dictatorship. And when you're imposing such conditions to us, why? Because Corona is still there in the country. Then why Mr. Narendra Modi is going to Ayodhya on 5th? Does that mean that Corona has entered into an agreement with Narendra Modi and he has said that no, I'm not going to reach Ayodhya and I'm not going to do anything on 5th of August. We are also going to follow what Mr. Narendra Modi is going to do on 5th. We are also going to follow that same set of rules on 1st of a Ganpati festival.
A large number of Hindu adherents, including members of the Bharatiya Janata Party and other allied Hindu bodies, have come out in stiff opposition to the remarks that have been made by a large number of politicians in the opposition. Viewers, sample these.
जोड़ करके माहौल खराब करने की कोशिश हो रही है और माहौल खराब अब नहीं हो सकता।
जब नाम ही जलील है तो जलील बात तो करेंगे ही। दुर्भाग्यपूर्ण इस विषय का हम निंदा करते हैं।
जो इसकी भावना जुड़ी हुई है भगवान श्री राम से, वो कहीं ना कहीं उसकी भावनाओं को वो समझ नहीं पा रहे, चोट पहुंचा रहे हैं। और बकरीद और ईद की तुलना वो श्री राम जन्मभूमि के भूमि पूजन से बिल्कुल करना गलत है।
Well, viewers, it's leading to a controversy, and as I said, the basic question really is whether elements within the opposition are denying Lord Ram his dignity by opposing the Bhumi Pujan. Now let's open this up, viewers. It's a very sensitive issue, and let's hope that all of us can, without losing our cool and collective calm, answer these questions. And I want to begin first with Tanveer Ahmed, spokesperson of the JDS. Tanveer Ahmed, is there merit in the opposition's demand to hold the Bhumi Pujan virtually, and of course that the Prime Minister must also attend virtually because A, he doesn't have a compact or some sort of treaty with Corona that he will not be able to spread it, and secondly because he lowers the dignity of his own office because it will be besmirched by a communal tinge. In this case, he will be accused of favouring one religion over all others.
Firstly, I don't adhere to the what Mr. Jalil, the Member of Parliament of AIMIM, we absolutely, they might be opposition, but we absolutely we don't toe their line. But however, there are certain questions which opposition is raising, the real opposition, and it is pertinent questions. Firstly, Sri Ram temple has to be constructed in this country. All the permissions have been granted, the Supreme Court has given. There has to be a big, beautiful temple which needs to be constructed, and every Indian is absolutely standing shoulder to shoulder for that. But here the question arises, is Prime Minister playing to the gallery because the election of Bihar and West Bengal is coming? I think Prime Minister wants to really, there are Mahants, there are great people who are sacrificed to build Ram Mandir in this country. Well, he's just the Prime Minister, not the person who has contributed on a religious line. It is, he wants to be politically correct. He wants to really create another avenue for him to say that it was me. He wants to make history, that's all. Though he was not part of creating history. However, a Prime Minister is a leader of this country who should never favor any religious sect, or there shouldn't be any differentiation between one sect and another sect. I think Prime Minister is just playing to the gallery to garner some votes. He's using Sri Ram for his political purpose. That's what is the clear understanding goes here.
But some people will say that he is only practicing also his faith. He's a practicing Hindu. Should he be debarred from attending this Bhumi Pujan just because he also is a Prime Minister? Some people will argue that, sir.
He should certainly not be, but देखिए हमेशा श्री राम है ना, दिल की मन की भावना जानते हैं. ये हमको प्राइम मिनिस्टर मोदी जी का पास्ट मालूम है. He has always created political avenues. He has always created big pillars on the basis of religion, and which was only to politically benefit.
So he is polarizing. This is a dog whistle invocation.
For his political purpose.
It's an interesting point. It's an interesting point. Now, I want to show you some examples, viewers, of international leaders that come from the top, so-called top democracies of the world. There's Donald Trump there from the United States. He's attending a church service. Justin Trudeau also in church, praying. Let's go on. David Cameron meeting the Pope. All of them, of course, were playing to galleries, were they? Barack Obama also in church. In fact, he's also meeting the Pope. Emmanuel Macron in France meeting the Pope. Are they all playing, sir, to election galleries, to packed Christian audiences? Are these not secular democracies and leaders of secular democracies? Let me ask Vivek Srivastava that question. Rajiv Desai is also raising his hand. Rajiv Desai, what do you make of this? There are other world leaders who very publicly subscribe to their faith. They make a big show of being practicing. Arey yaar, Vivek Srivastava, relax, calm down. You know, you're like a jack in the box. Calm down, we are going orderly. Calm down. What is what is the problem with you? Night after night, you want to get,
No, there is no problem.
Dressing down. Just calm down. I'm coming to you. I'm asking Mr. Desai. Should I not ask Mr. Desai? Okay, you answer. Chalo. Vivek Srivastava, if Mr. Desai doesn't get a chance this evening, you're to blame. Okay. Vivek Srivastava, respond. No, you please respond.
Mr. Desai.
No, please respond. Since you have...
Okay.
They are anyways one and the same.
Thank you.
They are one
Go
and
ahead.
the same.
Thank you.
Respond.
First of all, the example that you have given is not very logical and apt, because in the United States of America, you do not fight elections on the basis of the church. But in India, this party has fought elections with Ram Mandir as a very big issue. And this Prime Minister just wants to play to the gallery. I do not know which God he worships in 7 RCR, but when you are the Prime Minister, Raja ka dharm nahi hota, Raja ka ek hi dharm hota hai, Praja. So right now, in the middle of the Corona, he is going to Ayodhya, with a big crowd gathering over there. It
Is the
not a
real
very
question,
logical,
viewers,
very scientific thing to do.
is the real
And it
question.
is
Now
also going
look at
against
the
the
way
ethos of the Constitution.
Vivek Srivastava exposes himself. That, oh, you see, presidents abroad don't play to religious galleries because elections are not really run on any religious lines. No invocations are made to faith, etc. I don't know which cuckoo land, Vivek Srivastava, you've been living in.
In fact, Rahul,
There are issues that are tied into religion in America, sir, so deeply.
Ask the Gujarat Roy victims.
No, please
and
listen
you will
to me.
know which land I
Listen,
live in.
you made your point.
Ask the
Okay,
Gujarat
you
Roy
made your
victims.
point. Now let's get the
They will
responses.
tell you which
Let's get
land
the
we live in.
responses. You betrayed your ignorance. You made your point. You know, they always
fact,
say
Rahul,
empty
that's a
vessels make the
factual
most
point.
noise.
No,
Vivek
that's a
factual
Srivastava,
point.
you are an example of an empty vessel who
Rahul.
makes the most noise. Now listen. Listen to other people
Yes,
who
you are
might
an
know a little bit
example
more than
of a
you.
journalist who
One
toes
second.
the line
Let
of
me
the government.
bring in Sai
I
Deepak.
don't agree, you know
Let me
nothing.
bring in Sai
You are
Deepak
just a
for once.
sycophant of the
I will
government.
open this
A
out.
sycophant
Let me
of the
bring in
ruling
Sai.
party.
Listen,
When the party
listen,
changes,
just
your
keep
stand will
quiet.
change.
Mr. Srivastava, keep quiet. Relax, calm down. Calm down. Know your facts. Come prepared. Okay, this is not a frivolous debate medium.
No, my facts
This
are
is not some
absolutely clear.
frivolous debate
Your
show.
intentions are not very clear.
We come in here, do our
I'm
due
not talking
diligence
frivolous.
by
If you
reading up.
start using-
We
if
don't
you
sit here
start
and
using
faff,
loose
okay?
words, I have
We
to
don't
say
sit here and
something.
faff. The left has made
No,
it
then don't
an
use
art
loose
form,
words.
faffing on
No, then
national
don't use
TV,
loose words.
talking nonsense. Now 1 minute.
Then don't use loose words.
These are
Control
not
your
loose words.
in fact,
These are
Rahul,
facts. You don't like them? I can't help
Use
you.
loose words.
Come
fact,
better
Rahul,
prepared.
may I just-
1 second.
you told the
I
line
want
of
to
the
bring in
BJP
Sai
and
Deepak. Shut him
everybody is not
down.
neutral.
I want to bring in Sai Deepak. Sai Deepak, would you like to respond, sir, today to all of those who say that Prime Minister Modi is belittling Hindu faith, he is belittling his office, and he is besmirching the secular credentials of India by attending the Bhumi Pujan? Would you like to respond?
So let me just respond factually to what Mr. Vivek Srivastava has submitted. One, every American president or every person contesting for the post of the American presidency has to necessarily swear by the fact that he's a church-going person. So I don't know which cuckoo land Mr. Vivek Srivastava lives in and which rock he has actually buried his head under, because frankly speaking, religion matters even in American politics. Religion matters in every democracy, and to claim that it doesn't make a difference to American presidency, frankly speaking, is ahistoric. Point number two, Mr. Modi has the right to visit this particular temple as a practicing Hindu, and holding a secular office doesn't necessarily mean that the person has abandoned his faith. Going by that particular logic, are we expecting, or did we expect Mr. Manmohan Singh to abandon all visible symbols of his faith when he was occupying the position of the Prime Minister? I don't think that makes sense at all. For all practical purposes, the question is this: does it mean that the Prime Minister, as a practicing Hindu, does not have the right to visit this particular temple because it has a certain history? I would say precisely because it has a certain history which is civilizational in nature, and because that particular site has a civilizational importance and is of significance to this particular land, the Prime Minister has all the more duty, because he is simply visiting a place which has now become a place of peace and harmony thanks to the verdict of the Supreme Court. After 500 years of contestation, after 500 years of let's say, divisive politics being played, that issue has finally achieved a certain degree of closure. So the Prime Minister's visit to that particular place, according to me, is merely saying that this issue has been put to rest and this issue has been put to bed. Can we move on?
Okay. Very succinctly put. Mr. Desai?
Yes, well, I'm actually not surprised at all that Mr. Modi decided to go to Ayodhya, because that's where his journey began. Remember, the whole thing began with the Godhra incident, where lots of people were killed, and these are people supposed to be going for car save at the Masjid Ayodhya, and from that got a start. There were these riots in Gujarat which he was unable to stop, or is evidence enough to show that maybe he was not interested in stopping, whatever it is, but it was his first leg up into the political space. And from there on, he hasn't stopped. He was part of Advani's Yatra. He was always there. So why are we surprised? He's continuing his agenda. In fact, he's declaring that yes, this is Hindutva, and I won the election on that, and I will continue to pursue it. And God be with you. So I'm not surprised.
Equating Lord Ram with Hindutva, with a political ideology, with I'm terribly sorry. You're being extremely disrespectful. Mr. Desai, you're being very, very disrespectful.
No, Mr.
Attending the Bhumi Pujan is not trying to. Okay, 1 minute. Let me bring in GVR Narasimha Rao. GVR Narasimha Rao, Member of Parliament, National Spokesperson of the BJP. Shadad will also come in right after that. Mr. Narasimha Rao, respond. This is all a political play. This is scripted Hindutva. This is an attempt by the Prime Minister to play to the galleries and to send out a message that India is first a Hindu nation and everything after that.
I'm not really surprised about the kind of responses that members having allegiance to the opposition are making on this show and outside, because exactly it is the kind of it is this kind of vote bank politics, appeasement politics they have played ever since India became independent, and they are wanting to simply reach out to the real gallery, their vote bank. I think India's this building of temple in Ayodhya is, in my opinion, India's civilizational most significant ever in its civilizational history. So I think the Prime Minister, irrespective of who the Prime Minister was, should have visited Ayodhya, because
You live in the India of the
only
past,
giving respect to the
Mr. GVL
Supreme Court
Narasimhan.
judgment. It is only giving justice for the unjust denial of temple in Ayodhya for several decades. The litigation was always
restoring the
motivated
dignity of Maryada Purushottam Ram. Shadad Poonawalla, are these attacks on the Prime Minister just a pretext to allow Hindus to celebrate the return of Lord Ram, the triumphant return of Lord Ram to his birthplace and the spot of his birth? That's it. I'm asking you that question.
Rahul, I am never surprised when the lab of secularism, and by lab I mean the Latkana, Atkana, Bhatkana brigade of secularism, which always likes to pay more obeisance to Rome than Ram, comes up with these kinds of equations and analogies. Look at the parallel they're drawing. The Prime Minister is going for once in a 1,000-year event. It's not something that is going to be held regularly like a mosque prayer. Nor is it like Eid, which is a public congregation. This is going to be a very restricted event. But yet, see who's playing to the galleries. In fact, it's not the galleries. It's being played to the vote bank. And their philosophy is कि जब तक नहीं करेंगे हिंदू आस्था पे चोट, तब तक नहीं मिलेगा vote bank का vote. And therefore, you find Mr. Kapil Sibal, who's been replaced by Tanveer Ahmed on this debate. He says postpone Ram Mandir hearing till the elections. Tanveer says postpone it till the elections are on. Therefore, postpone this. Now see, Vivek Srivastava,
the Prime Minister who's doing the vote bank politics by going to Ayodhya.
Because every night the only valuable use you can find for Vivek Srivastava is to come and interrupt me within 20 seconds of me speaking.
1 second, Vivek Srivastava, let other people speak. No one interrupted you when you were interrupting others. Calm down. Calm down. You have forgotten Indira Gandhi, who used to wear a Rudrakshas.
Okay.
There was Indira Gandhi, who used to be always in the company of Dhirendra Brahmachari. You forgot.
What example is the Prime
you
Minister
forgot.
trying to set?
You forgot.
No, Rahul,
at that time, you didn't think about you didn't think about secularism and playing to galleries. 1 minute. Let me go back to Shadad Poonawalla. 1 second. You keep quiet here. Keep quiet.
Rahul.
30 seconds. Keep quiet 30 seconds. Have the decency to listen to others.
Rahul, it's...
Yes, Mr. Poonawalla.
Rahul, it's becoming increasingly difficult it's becoming increasingly difficult to have a conversation with the likes of Vivek Srivastava. Every night they're up to this kind of no good. But anyways, let me make my point. The point today, the real question today is कि जब तक है हिंदू विरोध जारी पर फिर भी अपने आप को कहेंगे जन्युदारी. Look at the trend. It was the Manishankar Iyer who said कौन से कमरे में राम पैदा हुए थे. It was Shashi Tharoor who said that good Hindus don't want a Ram Mandir. It was Kapil Sibal who said please postpone the Ram Mandir hearing till the elections are over. It was Sonia Gandhi who gave an affidavit and said Ram does not exist. And it was the same UPA government led by Sonia Gandhi, and I was referring to Rome obeisance more than Ram obeisance, which said that let's go and destroy the Ram Setu. Today I want to question this Vivek Srivastava. Does he know that in America, no single Catholic, except for one Catholic, no person other than Protestant can become president? He says that American politics is not driven by religion. No American president has been a non-Christian.
I have never seen
India has had at least a non-Hindu president. But has America
Okay,
ever had
1 minute. Let me step in. Don't do this every night. 1 second, calm down. Tanveer Ahmed, let me ask you. And Atikur Rahman, Ishkaran Bhandari also waiting. Ishkaran Bhandari, I'll come out to you on the legal point here also. But I want to go across to Atikur Rahman. Atikur Rahman, look at the opposition's consistency. The Ram Setu, UPA deposed in the Supreme Court. There's no proof of Ram's existence. So how can there be a Setu? Now you know that this is an article of faith, but you denounced it. Facing backlash, the UPA withdrew the affidavit and said we will re-examine the matter. But the damage was done. You agree? No, listen to me. Jai Shri Ram, 49 celebs write a letter to the Prime Minister that Jai Shri Ram is a provocative war cry. Who endorses it? The Congress, the left, everybody. In this country, you can say we will square it up at the barricades. That is a call for dissidence. I don't want to say the words that precede that call. I also want to say that Shashi Tharoor said no good Hindu wants a temple by destroying a mosque. Who is playing to the gallery, sir? All through the hearings on the Ram temple, the Prime Minister did not once go to Ayodhya. If he really wanted to pressure the judiciary, he could have gone there every other month. Atikur Rahman.
Rahul, I know I'm good to you and most of the panelists. But India, no doubt, is moving towards a theocracy. And the main agenda of the BJP RSS government here is to make India a theocratic state like Pakistan. They want to kill secularism in India.
Right.
And they are fast moving towards this. This is a major step Mr. Modi is taking.
Let me tell you, you're talking about a theocracy. The Congress party, sir, the Congress party and its leading lights, underwrote the Khilafat movement. And what was the Khilafat movement? That was the resurrection, of the Caliphate in the Levant. So don't talk through your hat. No one's religious rights are being proscribed if the Prime Minister goes to 1 second to pay obeisance to Lord Ram.
Taliban, RSS and BJP.
This is the real Babar mentality.
In front of India and the people of
GVL Narasimha wants to respond to you.
You see, when members of the other faith, when they make such statements, it clearly tells you there is a mindset. There is a regressive mindset, an anti-Hindu mindset, and they want the kind of Babar Sultanate back in India. I can assure him, Babar Sultanate will never come back to India. India will remain a democracy. India will remain a secular state. Your Islam rule, your Islamic rule is not going to come ever into India. So take this out of your mind. Take this out of your mind.
Rule of Pakistan.
Your Sultanate is not going to be back. It is going to be a democratic India. Which will be secular, which will run according to the Indian ethos. You remove the power mentality from your mindset. India is not going to be a sultanate again. Rahul Gandhi and Congress party might want you to believe that.
Okay, one second. Let me just step in here. Ishkaran Bhandari, the charge is that India is being turned into a theocratic state. Now, I want you to and I'll come to Sai Deepak also, who's an advocate. Both of you are advocates, and I want you to break it down for our viewers. Which religion in this country has seen the maximum number of interventions in diluting its basic rituals, practices, and precepts? Can you tell us?
And which religion
Rahul,
has shown
in
maximum
law we have
population growth?
precedent. Rahul, let me please answer.
Yeah.
Rahul, in law we have a thing called precedent. The problem is not with Prime Minister Modi, and the opposition is not even limited to Ram Mandir. The precedent is Somnath Mandir. The then first Prime Minister officially on record told his cabinet member, Mr. K.M. Munshi, this is Hindu revivalism if you make Somnath Mandir. Thank God for Sardar Patel that we got, and that K.M. Munshi's career was destroyed, and that is documented. Secondly, when the then President Rajendra Prasad was going to inaugurate, he said, Mr. President, please do not go to Somnath Mandir. The same opposition that we are saying today.
You never
Prime
have
Minister
had
Modi
the precedence of a Gujarat Roy. You
Please
never
don't
had the
interrupt, Rahul. I
precedence
have
of this
come last.
Babri
Let me
Masjid
speak at least. Why is
dispute
this
going on in the
gentleman
court.
interrupting a serious point?
Vivek Srivastava, let him make his point.
This is factual history.
You can raise your hand, you can respond, no problems. No one is stopping you. Don't be unruly.
Babri Masjid is a point of dispute.
Lower his fade up. Yes, Ishkaran Bhandari, come back to your point. Yes.
Rahul, this is extensively documented how Prime Minister Nehru opposed the president going to Somnath Mandir. It is documented how the cabinet minister Munshi was opposed, and it was called Hindu revivalism. And I will quote Mr. Munshi's word. He said that under the garb of secularism, communism is flourishing and the only community suffering is the majority community. These are his words, I'm paraphrasing. And last point, at the same time they found problem with using state funds for Somnath, the same cabinet started Hajj subsidy in 1954. So today, the opposition that comes to the Prime Minister of India, who incidentally before election declared, I am a Hindu nationalist, now they have a problem with both nationalism and his being a Hindu. The problem is that anything Hindu, the excuse in 1951 was Hindu revivalism, the excuse today in 2020 would be Hindu theocracy. Problem is anything, everything Hindu, nothing else.
Atikur Rahman.
Rahul, 10 seconds, please.
Atikur Rahman. Problem is with everything Hindu.
Dr. Ambedkar.
Problem is with everything Hindu, says Ishkaran Bhandari to you tonight.
Dr. Ambedkar, sir, in the same times when he was writing the constitution, warned that if this Hindutva becomes a reality in India, it will end democracy and secularism.
You want Dr. Ambedkar?
Those were the words of Dr. Ambedkar.
Don't
Why are you
quote Dr.
telling
Ambedkar
Nehru
selectively, my
never-
friend.
His
Don't
politics
quote
with
him
religion.
selectively, my friend. Ishkaran Bhandari wants to come in. I think he had another word and a large number of other phrases.
Munshi could be.
Yes,
One second.
Munshi could be.
1 second.
Absolutely.
Absolutely, Rahul. Any one of your audience can Google Dr. Ambedkar's word on Islam, how he called it. I don't want, because I won't want to paraphrase it. I don't have the quote in front of me. But we all know what he spoke on Islam and how people who are not a part of that community, how they are treated. That is the documented history. Also is documented history how Prime Minister Nehru opposed everything.
Dr.
Hindu. So let's not rewrite history. Let's not quote.
Vivek Srivastava wants to come in. Vivek Srivastava, after that, Sai Deepak, yes.
Because of the caste structure
Vivek
of the Hindu
Srivastava.
society.
Listen.
I'll just read you the quote.
No, Hindu
Dr.
society का
Ambedkar
caste
quote.
structure पे बोलिए Ishkaran.
वो तो सावरकर ने भी तो बोला था. Savarkar was against. Savarkar, the person that you reviled, was against casteism. Savarkar was against casteism. He opposed untouchability. No, what are you talking about? What are you talking about, sir? What are you talking about? Where was the left then? Where was the left then?
Can we have the religious head of the Hindus who is a Dalit? Can we have it?
And why did you oppose the
Can we
CAA?
allow a Dalit to go to the temples and worship?
Listen.
Can the Dalits conduct pujas as priests?
Yes. 1 second. Sai Deepak, GVL Narasimha Rao wants to come in. Yes. GVL Narasimha Rao, quick response.
No, very selective, very selective. They trust for the Dalit, selective justice for Dalit. What happened to the Dalit law minister, first law minister of Pakistan? He was driven away. He returned to India. I think most of the people who are getting citizenship under the CAA, they are Dalits. You have absolutely no.
Which you love so much.
You have absolutely no interest in Dalit rights and Dalit welfare.
They don't, because if they did, they would have opposed Article 370. They would have opposed Article 370, but they did not. Sai Deepak, I want you to come in on this big point on whether there is something called Hindu revivalism in this country and policies, etc., benefiting Hindus in this country. Can you shed light?
What's going on in this country is taking back the identity of this country. Please understand that what has happened in this country is something that should have happened immediately upon independence. In fact, Shri Arif Muhammad Khan has captured this fantastically, how the position was changed with respect to the Ram Janambhoomi immediately after the Shah Bano incident. Therefore, a promise was given with respect to that particular issue where it was promised to be given up. But as soon as the Shah Bano bill was passed, with respect to the maintenance of Muslim women, the position changed. So as far as I'm concerned, this particular community has suffered enough. And what has happened in the judgment is restoration of the civilizational dignity of this land. You asked me to enumerate the number of instances where there has been intervention with the Hindu way of life. So let me start naming it. One, the Hindu code which was pushed by Mr. Nehru without the permission of the community was worse than what has happened with any other community in this country. Assuming for a moment that Mr. Modi's government had done the same thing with any other community with respect to their personal laws, we would have had unconstitutional responses in this country, and Shah Bano is a clear-cut example. Point number two, Dahi Handi, there is an intervention. Ujjain Mahakaleshwar temple, there is an intervention. A temple in Kerala sees an intervention. More than 1 lakh temples across the country are under government control. Please name one institution of any other community which is under government control. So frankly speaking, the one community which has every right to speak of victimhood is the Hindu community. Just to answer Mr. Srivastava's point, Mr. Ambedkar converting outside of Hinduism, he needs to see the definition of Hindu under the explanation under Article 25. Hindu includes Buddhism. Mr. Ambedkar never chose either Islam or Christianity. He stayed within the dharmic fold. There is my answer.
Listen, Vivek Srivastava is an ignoramus. He doesn't come prepared. He thinks by shouting and behaving like a bull in a china shop, he's going to be able to score a maximum debating point. Shahzad Poonawalla, I can't understand because I've got on my screens Indira Gandhi with the Rudrakshas, Indira Gandhi with Dhirendra Brahmachari. We have had Manmohan Singh visiting the Golden Temple. No one said that he was playing to the Sikh galleries then, and no one said that Indira Gandhi was playing to the Hindu vote. Did they?
Rahul, every prime minister goes for the Dasara celebrations in Delhi.
They never had,
Rahul, if I may just come in.
One second, Srivastava, one second.
Patiently never pays.
Yes, go ahead. Go ahead, Shahzad Poonawalla, go ahead. Go ahead.
Rahul, you have to.
Go ahead.
You have to.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
I think TV debates must incentivize civilized behavior also.
Go ahead.
But anyways.
Go ahead.
Yeah, Rahul, I have two sets of questions. One, the opposition can be that it is not the right time because of the corona pandemic, or two, the opposition can be that the visiting of any elected official at such a place threatens the secular framework of our democracy. If it is the latter, then was the visit of Mr. Rajendra Prasad threat to the secular democracy of India? Or was the visit of Mr. Uddhav Thackeray as CM to Ayodhya a threat to the structure of democracy? Was his visit to Pandharpur last month a threat to democracy? Or else you have to tell us that if the priorities are in question, then why did Mr. Uddhav Thackeray visit Pandharpur, and why is Ashok Gehlot in Fairmont Hotel along with his other MLAs putting all caution to the wind when it comes to the social distancing measures and wearing a mask when it comes to COVID? So, these arguments being made are specious, they are false and they are fake. At the bottom of it is Vivek Srivastava's antipathy.
Denounce him. Denounce him. Denounce him. Shahzad Poonawalla has scored a debating point here. Denounce him.
Everybody is not a partisan. And there's nothing to do with. I don't have anything to do with politics. So
no. Why don't you come out? If you don't have anything to do with politics, easier for you to denounce Uddhav Thackeray. Say Uddhav Thackeray is a communalist who's playing to the saffron galleries. Say it.
Because it's not at all surprising, Rahul.
Yes.
Because this Ayodhya thing is what gave a start in
I
politics.
see. And where was the Shiv Sena at that time? Where was the Shiv Sena? Where was Bal Thackeray? Listen. Listen. Don't become such a camp follower that you forget, sir, that you are. No, 1 second. Don't become such a camp follower, sir, that you forget that first things first, you have a commitment to facts, integrity, and you have commitment to facts, integrity, sir, and history. Don't become such a camp follower. Don't become such a camp follower that your bias, sir, blinds you to the truth. Don't become such a camp follower. 1 minute. Let me bring in Tanveer Ahmed. Tanveer Ahmed, you should criticize Uddhav Thackeray. You should say denigrating his office. You should say that the Congress should withdraw support. NCP should withdraw support. Will you say it tonight? Say it.
Absolutely no.
Absolutely
no. Why? Because Uddhav Thackeray had gone because of his Astha.
Oh,
Narendra
and
Modi
Mr. Modi is going because of some other reason. Come on, sir. Don't be so puerile.
He has failed to handle.
Do you think we are fools sitting here?
He has failed to handle economy. He has failed.
Do you think we are fools? Do you think we are fools?
Narendra Modi wants to really go and seek the refuge in the name of Ram.
GVR Narasimha Rao is showing us something. GVR Narasimha Rao, what is it that you are showing us?
Ram ji ka naam sabse badnaam
can you see this?
Ram ji ka naam
Yes,
use kar
we
rahe
can see that. That
Okay,
is
what is-
Dr.
what is
Manmohan
it?
Singh
Holding
at
what?
Dasera.
At Ramlila Maidan. Okay? And this
Sir,
is
sir, I have
Manmohan
gone to more
Singh,
temples
Sonia
than you
Gandhi,
have,
all of them.
Mr. GVR
Was it a
Narasimha Rao,
religious
I have gone
function
to
or was
every
it something
temple in my
else?
constituency. You have not fought
Okay,
election. I have
no,
fought
come on,
elections.
just and let me. If a prime minister, if Dr. Manmohan Singh as prime minister and every other prime minister
No, going to
goes
temple
every
doesn't
year,
make you a Hindu.
every year
Or
on
not
Dasara
going
day
to a
to
temple doesn't make you a Muslim.
to celebrate
If at all you
Dasara.
are going to a temple or a mosque or a
if this
dargah
is-
with a nice
if this
faith,
is
with a
okay,
real faith, with a faith
this
in the
is
Lord,
okay,
that's
this
exactly
is
what
not a
matters.
fake.
Not for your electoral purpose.
No, even Deve Gowda went. No, tell me Deve Gowda was wrong. Deve Gowda was communal. Please say that.
Deve
Okay,
Gowda
this
is
is
more
Manmohan
Hindu
Singh.
than all
Even
you
Deve
RSS
Gowda
and
was
BJP
Prime
together.
Minister.
Deve Gowda is
He
a
was
real
there only
Hindu.
for 11 months.
Deve Gowda is a real
Rahul,
Hindu.
Tanveer,
He's
my
a
friend,
believer
Tanveer,
of
simple
Shiva.
question.
No,
He
but he
really
went there
prays
as
for
Prime
almost
Minister.
about 4 hours a day.
No,
You know,
he's
but
a Prime
Deve Gowda
Minister.
is a
Okay.
real Hindu.
Celebration.
Okay.
Deve Gowda doesn't
Viewers,
use
I think we know the direction. I think we know the direction this debate is taking. It's pretty clear, viewers, that there is a reason to oppose. And that reason is political. It's interesting how the pot is trying to call the kettle black. Here you have a situation, viewers, where the opposition says when Uddhav Thackeray, whose father divided up Maharashtra in a manner that still evokes fear in North Indians, when Bala Sahib went out and said some pretty nasty things against the minority community, and when his son goes to Ayodhya, it is because he is an adherent, a true follower of Lord Ram. And when the Prime Minister goes, then he is going to score political points. Actually, this is all just a pretext. The real pretext is to deny Ram Lalla his claim, which is a dignified return to the spot of his birth. After his juridical rights were restored, not after a 13-year banvas, viewers, but a 500+ year banvas. We are grudging this particular individual a return to claim what is his and a rightful reassignation of him from being someone who was treated as a homeless mendicant to a pontiff of a faith. That is what is being denied, viewers. There is symbolism here also.